Hare Krishna. So we're very delighted to be here at the lotus feet of this very charming Sri Sri Gaurnitai, the lotus feet of SriSriRadhaRasbihari and Lalita Vishaka, to be here at the lotus feet of Sri Sitaram Lakshman Hanumanji Maharaj, and to be at the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada, and to be here with all the wonderful devotees of Juhu Yatra. But it's also a little sad because this is our last day with you. So tomorrow we continue on our journey. Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 11, text number 2, verse number 50. Na kama karma bijanam yasya chetasi sambhava vasudevaika Nilaya Sa Vai Bhagavatam Nakama Karma Bijanam Yasya Chetati Sambhavaha Vasudevaika Nilaya Savai Bhagavatam Nakama karma bijanam Yasya chetasi sambhavaha Vasudevaika nilaya Savai Bhagavatam. Ladies? Na, never. Kama, of lust. Karma, fruitive work. Bijanam, or of material hankerings, which are the seeds of fruitive activity. Yasya, of whom, Chaitasi, in the mind, Sambhavaha, chance to arise. Vasudeva Ekanilaya, one for whom the Supreme Lord Vasudeva is the only shelter. Saha, he, by, indeed, Bhagavat Uttama, a first-class devotee. Translation: one who has taken exclusive shelter of the Supreme Lord Vasudeva becomes free from fruitive activities which are based on material lust. In fact, one who has taken shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord is freed from even the desire to enjoy material sense gratification. Plans for enjoying sex life, social prestige, and money cannot develop within his mind. Thus, he is considered Bhagavat Uttama, a pure devotee of the Lord on the highest platform. So translation, please repeat. One who has taken exclusive shelter of the Supreme Lord Vasudeva becomes free from fruitive activities which are based on material lust. In fact, one who has taken shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord is freed from even the desire to enjoy material sense gratification. Plans for enjoying sex life, social prestige, and money cannot develop within his mind. Thus he is considered Bhagavat Uttama, a pure devotee of the Lord on the highest platform. So it's a little bit lengthy purport, so we'll chant our Mangala Charana and make comment on each paragraph. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chaksurun Militam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Nama Sri Chaitanya Manubhistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Sayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Svapadandikam Adadana Srinandantai Ridam Yache Puna Puna Srimad Rupa Padam Bojo Dulisyam Janma Janmani Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Panchakalpa Trubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vaivata Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. So purport by the followers of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. According to Srila Sridhar Swami, this verse describes the behavior of a devotee of the Lord. The activities of a pure devotee are devoid of material envy, false elation, delusion, and lust. According to the Vaishnava commentators, the word bijanam in this verse refers to vasana, or deep-rooted desires, which gradually fructify in the form of activities for which the living entity becomes subject to reactions. Thus, the compound word kama karma bijam indicates the deep-rooted desire to lord it over the material world through the enjoyment of sexual pleasure and the expansion of sexual pleasure mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 5, Verse 8, as Griha Sheta Sutapa Vitai, that is, a beautiful residential building, and ample land for producing sumptuous food to fill the belly, as well as children, friends, social contacts, and a large bank balance. All these material items are essential for completely forgetting that one is an eternal servant of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, as stated in Bhagavatam, Janasya Mahoyam Aham Mameti, indicated by these objects of material illusion, intoxicated by these objects of material illusion, the conditioned soul becomes madly convinced that he is the center of the universe and everything in existence has been created only for his personal sense gratification. Whatever obstructs such illusory enjoyment becomes immediately his enemy and subject to be killed. So this whole material world is made in such a way to completely entrap the fallen conditioned soul. Prabhupada uses this word, conditioned soul. Just like when people come to Vrindavan, they're very anxious, they want an air-conditioned room. So, because naturally in Vrindavan the air is quite warm, so we have to condition it to become cold. So our natural condition is to serve Krishna. Jivera Swarupoi Nitya Krishna Das. Lord Chaitanya has described that the natural position of the living is Nitya Krishna Das. But this material energy convinces conditions the soul, instead of serving Krishna, to serve his senses. He becomes conditioned to want sense gratification instead of the Lord's service. Therefore Prabhupada calls it conditional life, because the natural condition of the soul is to serve Krishna. Prabhupada said or Brahma Samhita describes that 3/4 energy of the Lord is in the spiritual world, only 1/4 here in this material world. So most people are all happily engaged in the service of the Lord. But here in this material world, the devotees describe here that everyone is thinking that I'm the center of the universe. Everything is for my enjoyment. And anyone who gets in my way, then we'll finish him off. Just like I was preaching in South America. Rather poor countries are there. So we had a beautiful farm and we wanted to develop it. So in Panama, we had a very good friend named, at that time his name was Krishna Kishore. Now he's initiated, I can't remember his initiated name, but even his given name was so nice, Krishna Kishore. And he was a millionaire. So our in charge, he asked Krishna Kishore, please tell us something, how we can make $1 million to serve Krishna. And he said, Maharaj, whatever you're doing, you do. You don't want to make $1 million. He said, there's no millionaire in South America who didn't kill 50 people to get there. And he was a millionaire, so he knows. So as soon as one thinks he's the center of the universe, he doesn't care for anyone else. But we see the Lord, he cares for everyone. Lord is so kind. He comes himself, he sends his servants, anyway, anyhow, trying to attract us to come back to home, back to Godhead. But the conditioned souls, they're only concerned with their own personal enjoyment. And if anybody becomes an obstruction for that enjoyment, then he must be eliminated or somehow gotten out of the way. This is the powerful conditioning of this material nature. Here it's described that we want to enjoy sex life, therefore we have to have a nice apartment. Just like we went yesterday, last 2 days in Kargar, next to Kargar, huge, all the way up to the sky, apartment buildings are there. They must cost crores of rupees just so people can think they're enjoying their life. Just like we see the dog, he runs around 3 times and goes to sleep very peacefully. And you may spend crores of rupees buy an apartment, but when you're asleep, you're not aware of your crores of rupees apartment. You're just like the dog. Just, Prabhupada said, this is a fancy, doggish society. The dog, he's running on 4 feet, and the human beings we saw, they're running on 4 wheels. We saw coming back, we got so much traffic, everybody's riding on 4 wheels, busy to go here and there for sense gratification. So the dog, he's also running on 4 wheels. And what is his business? Eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. We see the dog, he goes from one fire hydrant to the next one, he's following his nose. We see the dogs, they're a very nice example of someone who's controlled by the senses. He's specifically controlled by his nose. He's always sniffing here and there. As soon as you come into somebody's house who has a dog, immediately the dog comes. And he's sniffing every dog that comes in front of him, see if there's some sex life available here. He's completely controlled by his senses. So the human being, same thing. He's running on his 4 wheels, but just to eat, sleep, mate, and defend. That's all. Same as the dog. So this is just a fancy dog community. Human life begins, we know, when one begins to ask that, who am I? Why am I here? What is the purpose of life? This is a beginning. Just like we know the first verse of Vedanta Sutra, Atato Brahma Jignasa. Atato means now. Now means that you have passed through 8,400,000 species of life. 84 lakhs you've been. But now that you've got this human form of life, Atato Brahma Jignasa, you inquire about the Supreme. That is, when one begins to inquire about the Supreme, that is the beginning of human life. Otherwise, animal life, eating, sleeping, mating, if it's very easily available. Here you have to spend crores of rupees to get a nice apartment and work so hard at a job that you hate, with a boss that you hate, with co-workers that you dislike, just so you can enjoy on the weekend for 2 days. Just like, I remember Hridayananda Maharaj, he told that his father had a grocery store downtown Los Angeles. And he had a big house in Beverly Hills, which is a very, very posh, one of the most posh areas of Los Angeles district. But he was there, he has to come very early in the morning to catch the people who are going to work. So he has to go there very early in the morning, because people are going to work, they'll have maybe a little bit of time before work to buy some things. He has to go there, then he has to stay late at night. So practically, he's dreaming that he's living in Beverly Hills. He's living in a greasy corner of Los Angeles, downtown Los Angeles. That's all. He's thinking, I'm living in Beverly Hills, but most of his time is spent there. Just weekends, and weekends means sleeping. Just like one time I was selling incense for Los Angeles Temple, and I had one incense account. There was one shop that was run by some girl, and she was a little bit interested in some of the things that, she saw I was wearing dhoti and everything, and she was asking about Krishna consciousness. I said, you come, we have a nice feast on Sunday. He said, no, Sunday I just drop dead and enjoy. I sleep all day. This was her enjoyment. All day all week long she's working at this stupid store, and then weekend comes, I couldn't believe, in the same breath, drop dead and enjoy. That is her enjoyment, to drop dead. So the poor conditioned souls, they're completely illusioned by all this. But the devotee, it says here, bij means seed, because we see that this desire to enjoy is very deeply rooted in our consciousness. Very difficult to overcome. But here it says the devotees very easily they overcome, because they're always completely absorbed in the service of the Lord. Because of his bodily concept of life and the shackles of illusion, the whole world is being violently shaken by conflict arising from envy and lust. The only possible solution is to accept the leadership of the Lord's pure devotees, who are described here. A popular expression used to justify democratic government is power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. Such homilies may be valid on the material platform, but it is specifically mentioned here that a pure devotee of the Lord who has completely taken shelter of the Lord's lotus feet cannot even consider taking part in material envy and sense gratification. His mind remains perpetually clear and sober, and he is always aware of the ultimate good of every living entity. The Krishna conscious movement is strenuously endeavoring to inform Earth's suffering living entities of the serious need for a brain in human society. A brain racked by fever cannot give proper direction, and if the so-called thinkers of society are burning with selfish desires, they are no better than feverish, delirious brains. Delirious governments are gradually destroying all traces of happiness in human society. Therefore, it is the duty of Vaishnava preachers to act on the platform of Bhagavatam so that they can give great, clear guidance to humanity without being corrupted or even slightly attracted by the material opulence that may be offered to a saintly person. All intelligent human beings who are unable to take directly to the process of bhakti yoga should at least be sufficiently educated to recognize the first-class devotee of the Lord and accept his guidance. In this way, human society can be very nicely organized so that not only all human beings, but even animals, birds, and trees can make advancement in life and gradually go home back to Godhead for eternal life of bliss and knowledge. So we see practically the whole world, just due to envy and lust, they're completely absorbed in so many conflicts. We see every day, every headline, this conflict, that conflict. Everywhere there's conflict. It's just envy and greed. And these things make the mind feverish. Here it's described that the brain is feverish, then it cannot give proper direction. So we see all the governments of the world, they cannot give us any proper direction. Practically, we're destroying the planet. With our greed to enjoy more and more and more in so many ways, there's not enough resources in the material world for our exploitation. So we're gradually drying up all the resources, and if we're not careful, eventually we'll destroy this whole planet, and not be fit to live. So we need someone whose mind is clear to give us proper guidance. Because the problem is that one government comes, they promise so many things to the people, and then they get there, and then they just become corrupted, and they became elected because they're showing the previous government was so corrupt. And as soon as they get control, they also become completely corrupt. And then the next government says, oh, these guys are all corrupt. We'll give you the real guidance. We'll satisfy all your desires. They promise again so many things. And same thing over and over and over again. Because if one has got fever in his brain and he's delirious, one who's delirious, he cannot see anything properly. But for the devotee, for a real Bhagavat-Ottama, he's above all of these things, because his mind and his senses are all engaged in the service of the Lord. Prabhu said, the idle mind is devil's workshop. Idle mind is devil's workshop. This is a famous saying in America. Just like we have the example, Viswamitra Muni. He became envious of Vasishtha Rishi. He saw that he had more, he was a Kshatriya, but this Vasishtha Rishi was a Brahmin, and he had more power than him, because he tried to steal Vasishtha Rishi's cow, and he was defeated. So he wanted to become a Brahmin. So he began to perform artificially controlling his mind and senses. And as soon as he heard the tinkling of Menika's ankle bells, tinkle, 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 immediately lust awoke in his heart. On the other side, we have Haridas Thakur. He was living alone in the woods and practicing his Krishna consciousness. He was chanting the holy name. He was always hearing the holy name. He was hearing the glorification of the Lord. He was eating food offered to the Lord. All of his senses were engaged in the Lord's service. And the village in charge, he became envious that everybody's going to see this fellow and bringing him so much fruits and vegetables and giving him so much honor. So he hired one prostitute to go there. But Haridas, all his senses were engaged in the service of the Lord. That prostitute came and he said, I have to finish my quota of rounds. I have so many rounds to chant. You wait a minute, I'll finish and then we'll enjoy. And when she fell asleep waiting and waiting and waiting, and when she woke up she saw it was daytime, and so she went away, and he said, I'm sorry, I couldn't finish my rounds, tomorrow you come. So 3 days she came, and making all types of beautiful poses in front of Haridas. But Haridas was, all his senses were completely absorbed in the Lord's service. Finally, on the last evening, he said, no, I'm just about to finish, don't worry, tonight we'll enjoy. So she was hearing him chanting, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And she also began to chant. And suddenly her heart, by that chanting, her heart changed, and she fell at Haridas's feet and begged him forgiveness. I'm so sorry, I'm so sinful. I was trying to make you fall down. This fellow has employed me. He's paying me to come and make you fall down. I'm so sinful, how can I be saved? Please save me. Now I understand I'm in a very horrible condition. And Haridas said, I understood from the first, because if we were hearing the devotees, they're very merciful. They want to do good they actually want to do good for people. The governments are promising so many things, but they opening slaughterhouses and liquor houses and so many things. How can you have a peaceful society with in such a way? He said, from the first moment you came, I would have run away, but I stayed here for your benefit. This is a devotee. He's compassionate. He said, you give away all of your belongings and you shave your head and you stay here and chant Hare Krishna. So she gave away all her belongings to the Brahmins and devotees, and she sat down there, she shaved off her beautiful hair, and she began to chant, and everyone was astounded. When she said, but how will I eat? He said, you don't worry, I'm your spiritual master, I will take care. And by her spiritual master's grace, people, they were so amazed. This girl was a very low-class prostitute. Now she's sitting in the forest chanting the holy name of the Lord. This Haridas, he was such an amazing devotee. He made her into a devotee. And people would come and offer. She had so much fruits and vegetables that she would distribute to others. She would cook and offer to the Lord and distribute prasadam. She had more than enough for her own maintenance. Her spiritual master made sure of that. So in this way, because all of his senses were engaged in the service of the Lord, and Viswamitra, he was just artificially controlling his senses. So as soon as tinkle, 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 the ankle bell sound came, and immediately he fell down. Even Haridas, later, Maya, she got curious that this fellow, nobody can escape my power. How is this fellow? So she came there to where Haridas was staying, and we're totally bewildered by the little agents of Maya. We don't even we can't even imagine how incredibly attractive Maya must have been. In fact, we don't even want to imagine how beautiful Maya was. But still, Haridas said, "Oh, you sit and chant. You sit, and when I'm finished chanting." And then she realized this guy's for real. And she fell at his feet and said, begged him to, because Lord Shiva is always chanting Ram, Ram, Ram. He said, now you chant, give me the whole Mahamantra. So he initiated Maya into chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So because we don't artificially stop the senses. Krishna consciousness, actually yoga means to link. So we link all of our senses with Krishna conscious activities. We want to see something beautiful. So we come here to the temple. We see the beautiful forms of the Lord. I'm so pleased. I thank the pujaris so much. They're so nicely decorating the Lord every day when we come. We're so amazed to see the beautiful outfits and the beautiful flower garlands that the ladies sitting here every day making beautiful flower garlands, engaging their senses in the service of the Lord. So we want to see something beautiful. So you come here. When you see the beautiful form of the Lord, oh, your heart becomes satisfied. You see the forms of this world, then you just become agitated. But when you see the beautiful form of the Lord, your heart becomes very peaceful and joyful. You want to hear something, but instead of listening to all these Bollywood songs, you hear the nice bhajans of the Lord. Just like we were singing this nice song, Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Prabhupada said this is describing Vrindavan. It's a Jai Radha Madhav. The essence of Vrindavan is Radha Madhav. Otherwise there's so many forests. We were just in Kenya. We saw so many beautiful forests. And lions and giraffes and so many things. And you go to Vrindavan, it's mostly just sticker trees, thorn trees. But why are we interested in this forest? So many beautiful forests. I've been to Russia, they have beautiful forests in Russia, even in Ukraine and Europe, everywhere beautiful forests, so many beautiful forests. But why we're interested in this Vrindavan forest? Because Radha and Madhav, for those who are fortunate, even today they can see the pastimes of Radha and Krishna in Vrindavan. So Jai Radha Madhava Kunjabi is filled with kunjas instead of big tall buildings. Just like we were remembering yesterday that my temple president, first temple president, he became a devotee there in 26 Second Avenue. And one of the first Krishna conscious English songs of the devotees, he knew it because it was composed there. I can't remember who made it up, maybe Brahmananda or someone. Chanting in your city, chanting in your town, Prabhupada has told us to spread this chanting round. Your city's made of iron, concrete, stone, and glass. We see, concrete, stone, and glass. What hope is there for the future with such an ugly past? Chanting in your city, chanting in your town. Prabhupada has told us to spread this chanting round. This is the age of Kali. It couldn't get much worse. But Prabhupada's the guru of the whole wide universe. Chanting in your city, chanting in your town. Prabhupada has told us to spread this chanting round. So your city's made of iron, concrete, stone, and glass. And just really not very attractive. we saw this beautiful Kargar temple that's so beautiful, everything meant for the service of the Lord. Such a beautiful place. Just everything there to satisfy. You want to see something beautiful, you go to the temple and see the beautiful decorations in the temple, the beautiful decorations of the Lord. You want to hear nice songs, you hear the nice bhajans about the Lord. You hear the nice philosophy of Krishna consciousness. We read material books, we read the newspapers, our mind just becomes agitated. But when we hear about Krishna, then our minds become peaceful. So we want to hear something, you hear the nice songs, you hear the chanting of the holy name, you hear the nice Bhagavatam class, Bhagavad-gita class. You want to smell something, you come smell the beautiful flowers offered to the Lord, the incense offered to the Lord. And the tongue wants to taste something. So instead of just reheated dead bodies, you'd eat nice rasgulla, sandesh, gulab jamans, paneer sabji, puris, but first offer to the Lord. You want to taste things, so taste the nice prasadam of the Lord. And devotees are going everywhere. We went in Kumbh Mela, we were receiving 1 lakh of plates, full plates of prasadam, not just like in Vrindavan, every day they're giving a little donut, a little leaf cup of khichdi. Full plate of prasadam to everyone, 1 lakh every day. And this is not material food, this is spiritual food. Just by tasting it, one advances in Krishna consciousness. Just like I went to Portland to take over the temple there, become temple president, and one devotee was there. He came there to help me. So before he could find a place to stay, he was staying with his wife's grandmother. And she was just an ordinary American lady. She wasn't particularly religious or anything, just enjoying her life, so-called enjoying. But in one corner of her living room, they set up a little altar and they offered all their food to Krishna. They cooked nice things and they would always give Granny some portion of the prasadam. And they came home one day and she was on the telephone to one of her old lady friends and she said, "And you know, Mabel, food even tastes better when it's offered to Krishna." Even this simple Karmi lady, she could understand that this prasadam is something different. So you want to taste something, you taste a nice prasad and you distribute prasad. You want to raise a nice family, so you raise a nice family in Krishna consciousness. It's so heartwarming to see the little kids playing their tiny little mridangas and jumping up and down in the kirtan. So you raise, Prabhupada said, don't raise cats and dogs, you raise human beings who when they see sadhu, they bow down. Just like we see wherever we go, they bring the little children and make them bow down. Make them real human beings who know the purpose of life. So in this way we can engage all of our senses in the service of the Lord. That's bhakti yoga. Yoga means to link. So all the senses are linked to Krishna's service. So it's a natural process. It's a very natural process and very easy process. So anyway, let us finish this purport before our time is up. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur has emphasized that those seriously interested in achieving the perfection of Krishna consciousness must live in a community of Vaishnavas. Srila Prabhupada has also mentioned several times in his literature that it is not possible to achieve the stage of perfect Krishna consciousness unless one accepts the shelter of the pure devotees by living in the Krishna consciousness communities being established all over the world by the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur has emphasized that this does not mean that spiritual life is restricted only to those celibate students who can live within a temple compound. Devotees in the Grihastha order, that of spiritual family life, can also take shelter of the Vaishnava community by regularly attending temple functions. Those who are living in family life should daily see the deity of the Supreme Lord, chant His holy name in His personal presence, accept the remnants of food offered to the deity, and hear learned discourses on Bhagavad-gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. Any householder who regularly takes advantage of these spiritual facilities and follows the regulative principles of spiritual life, namely no meeting, no illicit sex, no gambling, and no intoxication, is considered to be a bona fide member of the Vaishnava community. According to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, those who remain inimical to the devotional service of the Lord are to be considered lifeless puppets in the hands of the illusory energy of the Lord. Lifeless puppets. Just like we see sometimes, because now they've invented AI and they could do so many fancy things, but in old days, they used to entertain us by, they would have little puppets. They're all controlled by strings. So in this way, the material energy is controlling us. We're moving, you know. Oh, look, there's a hot dog. Go there and get it, you know. We're just being pulled. We're just puppets. So we don't want to be puppets in the service of Maya. Just like the whole Prabhupada said, the meaning of Mahamantra, O Lord, O energy of the Lord, please engage me in your service. In other words, we're praying that I'm serving this material energy. And this material energy is a very bad master. She's never satisfied, always beating me. More, more, more. We see everyone, as soon as they get a little bit of sense gratification, want more, more. They're never satisfied. So this material energy is beating me. I'm under this material energy. Now, Hare, Hare means the spiritual energy. We want to take shelter of that is spiritual energy to engage us in the service of the Lord and become joyful. This material energy makes us mad, but engaging in the service of the Lord makes us joyful. We see that. I remember one time I was on Sankirtan and we were chanting, and one businessman came up to me and said, I don't understand. I see you guys in New York, I see you in London, I see you in Paris, I see you in Delhi, I see you in Bombay, I see you in Japan, I see you guys everywhere, and you're always smiling. Because the devotees are becoming joyful. Just like I remember, first time I came to India in 1974, 74, 75, 76, I came for those days it was Mayapur Vrindavan Festival. I remember nobody had a car. There was only a few little, this ambassador and what is other with this Padmini. That was it. Nobody had a big flat. If somebody had a color TV, that was a big deal. They had black and white TV. But I saw everybody was smiling. They may not have all their teeth, but they are smiling. You know, we see all the villagers smiling. Everyone was smiling. And now everybody has a car, everybody has a big flat worth crores of rupees, everybody has a big bank balance, but I don't see the smiles anymore. I don't see the smiles anymore. So, if you want to be happy, you have to, just like here's the formula given, you live in the society of the devotees. Doesn't mean you move into the temple. You don't have to become a sadhu. You have to become a real sadhu. Someone who's living in grihastha life and executing Krishna consciousness. He's also a sadhu. So this is the process. Very simple. Completely natural. We control the senses perfectly by engaging them all in the service of the Lord and living in the association of devotees, hearing the stories about the Lord, hearing the glories of the Lord, hearing the wonderful pastimes of the Lord, hearing the beautiful songs of the Lord, eating prasadam, seeing the deity. You live in this way and you're guaranteed to go back to home, back to Godhead. So we'll put our voice to rest here. If anybody has any questions or comments. Anyone has anything else to say? I put everybody to sleep, no questions. So if there are no questions, we can bow down at the very soft and wonderful lotus feet of that great personality who established all these Krishna conscious communities and is in whose honor we can continue establishing Krishna conscious community so that everyone can engage in the service of the Lord and go back to home, back to Godhead. Srila Prabhupada ki.